My friends, today it just keeps going on. I hope you're paying attention to what's going on in this world because I am. And I still can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm seeing, but I'm so glad that we're here today, you and me, against the world. Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. Where do we start? Where do we start? First of all, let me just thank you for being with us. Let me thank you for joining us, for being a part of this. Let me also say, as I normally say, get this out of the way. It means so much for you to join us. I got a lot to talk about. Oh, we got for those of you, my direct energy weapons friends. Oh my God, you are just fixated on that, and I can't blame you because it is interesting. A couple of news stories on that. Some other news stories you might find of interest in a very strange way, which we'll get to. A little bit on Trump. Trump kind of news is boring, a little stagnant. He's talking too much. They're actually suggesting that Trump may be afraid to debate Chris Christie. Can you believe this? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. But let me ask you, first of all, to, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams. And don't forget our great friends. I'm getting you so much stuff from time to time. People saying, thank you for turning me on to My Pillow. They really are good. It's like, yes, I thought it was just some guy. No. The pillows are great. The slippers are great. Everything, the duvets, the covers, just everything. MyPillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, guess what? You get a free gift. No obligation. Is that great or what? So thank you for that. Thank you. And don't forget that X thing. I still can't say X. To me, it's Twitter. What are you going to do? I've been getting some of the fun. I don't want to read these. I don't want to read these emails. But I'm convinced that maybe, and maybe this is just, maybe I'm just maybe I'm just going too far with this. But there are people who don't understand that there is no recorded evidence of direct energy weapons, satellite or airborne based. None that were responsible for causing the Maui Lahaina fires. Let me say this again. To date, no evidence. None. None. Let me finish. None. Do you understand this? Do I make myself clear? Is this difficult to understand? Don't feel like I'm teaming up on you. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. You do know this, right? You do know this. There's no evidence. None. There's evidence that direct energy weapon. I can't believe I'm still doing this, but again, I have to do this because of the email. I never get emails from people talking about something. Yeah, sometime now with them. But this one hit a nerve because you're confusing the existence of direct energy weapons with them being used to count this. All right. That's number one. But wait a minute. You're not looking correctly. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Let me ask you to respond to this and listen to this. Listen to two things. But this is the best. And I heard this today. This was the best. It was on, I forget what it was. I'm going to read this to you in its entirety. Listen to this. This is from the Washington Post on the 15th of August, written by Brianna Sachs. Are you ready for this? How do I know you're ready? How do I know you're ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because I'm going to read this to you. And this is going to blow your mind. And yet, these people don't know what the hell we're talking about. They'll say, well, what is the big deal? Let me read it to you. I hope you're ready. Hope you're ready. Washington Post. Dateline, Kula, Hawaii. That's a diphthong. What-e? We have two vowels next to each other. What-e? We don't have that. We have a vowel with a consonant. Anyway. At 10:47 p.m. last Monday, a security camera at the Maui Bird Conservation Center captured. Are you ready? Tell me you're sitting down. Tell me you're not driving. A security camera at the Maui Bird Conservation Center captured a bright flash in the woods. What was it? A bright flash in the woods, illuminating the trees swaying in the wind. According to Jennifer Pribble, a senior research coordinator at the center, it's the Bird Conservation Center, in a video posted on Instagram, quote, I think that is when a tree is falling on a power line. A bright flash in the woods. I think so. Could be. Listen to this. This is my favorite. The power goes out. Our generator kicks in. The camera comes back online. And then the forest is on fire. Interesting. The power goes out. Generator kicks in. Camera comes back online. And everything's on fire. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking. I'm thinking, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's some, I don't know. That's some power line. Wow. Man. Okay. All right. But you see, nobody would ever read this in any way other than that's it. And I'm not reading anything into it. But do you or do you not find that kind of interest? Now, let me give you a new one. Here's the latest one. This is from a story. This is from BBC Dateline. No, BBC.com. This is 13 hours ago. This is today. Hawaii wildfires, directed energy weapon, and other false claim go viral. False claims about the deadly wildfires in Hawaii, including that shadowy forces orchestrated the disaster with a laser beam, have gained traction online. Shadowy forces orchestrating the disaster with a laser beam? Is that what you're saying? Maybe it is. The misleading posts came from a variety of sources and accounts, but generally imply that elites or government agencies deliberately started the fires. Some of the most popular theories are couched in questions about a narrative and make claims that alternate views are being censored despite collecting millions of views. While there are specific rumors circulating about Maui, they fit into a general pattern repeatedly seen after extreme weather events and natural disasters. Politically motivated activists seeking to downplay the potential impact of climate change. Let me read this again. BBC. While there are specific rumors circulating about Maui, they fit into a general pattern repeatedly seen after extreme weather events and natural disasters. Politically motivated activities seeking to downplay the potential impact of climate change. Videos and images claiming that the wildfires were not a natural disaster and were instead caused by a directed energy weapon or laser beam or explosion have been viewed millions of times. One video viewed 10 million times claims to show a large explosion in Maui just before the fires. This is the one that many people are seeing. But the video was originally a viral clip on TikTok in May showing a transformer explosion in Chile. Chilean TV network Chilevision ran a report of the viral video, confirming the explosion was a result of a blown transformer. But it has been digitally altered. The original image of the Wyola Church in Lahane has no laser beam or light ray. Two other false images have been racking in number of views. One shows a fireball and a light streak. By the way, they're called light pillars. One shows a fireball and a bright streak of light rising upward towards the night sky. It too has been accompanied by claims that wildfires are not a natural phenomenon. But a search on the internet for various versions of this image reveals that the shows a controlled burn at Ohio oil refinery and was first posted online in 2018. The streak of light, known as a light pillar, is an optical illusion formed by reflection of ice crystals in a cold day. A similar image claims to show a huge beam of light in Maui just before the wildfires, but it shows the launch of SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in California in May of 2018. What about why are trees standing? These are claims circulating about from the Maui fires, showing some trees are still standing while houses and vehicles are being burned, with people pointing to the pictures as evidence of the fires being deliberately set or that their real cause is being hidden. One post on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, includes a video of the destruction and the message, "Everything is burnt but the trees, but don't point that out or you're a conspiracy theorist." That post, which has more than been viewed 24 million times, has been challenged by X's community notes feature, where users add context and whatever it is. Dr. Rory Haddon, a senior lecturer and expert in fire investigations at the University of Edinburgh, told BBC Verify that it is common for trees to remain standing even after severe wildfires because burning through a large piece of wood takes a long time. Thick pieces of wood are usually not able to sustain burning on their own, and the high moisture content of trees will also make them hard to burn. Some plants, known as pyrophytes, have adapted to survive wildfires, so you're out of your mind. Here we go. Elite land grab. Alongside the directed energy weapon rumors, speculation spread in viral posts that some of the island's rich inhabitants and second homeowners deliberately started the fires to grab valuable land in Lahaina. One viral video includes claims by a podcaster that native landowners in Maui have refused to sell land to investment management companies and rich locals. He notes that the false directed energy weapon rumors being before going on. He notes that the false directed energy weapon rumors before going on to speculate that there might be something to them because news outlets have called these rumors conspiracy theories. Another viral video has been seen 10 million times on X account that frequently spreads false information debunked by community nodes. It includes a list of wealthy people who purportedly own property. The cause of the fires are still unknown. And that didn't debunk anything. I'm going to give you a link right here. And I want you to go through this and look through it. And I want you to say, that's very, very good. And like I say, that's the post right there. And let me just say, let me go on the record, say yet again, I have yet, and I've told you repeatedly, I have yet to see anything. But let me tell you something. The last thing in the world you should ever do if you want to dispel something is to have these people come out and say, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. That doesn't debunk anything. That fuels you. That does nothing but fuel you. And when you have somebody who says, here's something, I find this very interesting. Oh, look, this tree fell on a line. Oh, there he goes. Boy, that was fast. Wow, man. Now, this is what fuels your fecund imagination. This is what makes you say, wait a minute. You have my permission to think that. You have my permission to think that. Remember, I have never told you one time that what you're suggesting is not in any way impossible. In any way beyond the realm of possibility. I've never told you that. I've never told you that. You know that. You know it to be true. I've said this repeatedly, haven't I? You better believe I have. You better believe I have. I have said this repeatedly to you. But it doesn't mean it's not there. There's a fellow named Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer. He is in product disclosure and this and that. And I am of the feeling that most probably we have been visited by something somewhere from since time immemorial, in means and in vehicles and in appearances that I cannot put into words, but I know to be true. I know to be true. Do you hear what I'm saying? I know this. I know this to be true. I know that what they're saying is, but I can't prove it. I can't prove it other than a lot of great circumstantial evidence, a lot of great stuff that I bring to your attention. A lot of stuff that makes you think, wow, this is really interesting. But I can't prove it. Even though I want there to be something, I want there to be there. I want it to be there. I want it. I want it more than anything. I do. I really do. I want there to be evidence of this, but I don't know if it's true or not. I do not know this. This I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how it's possible to maintain a kind of a belief in something, but yet you have not shown me proof yet of it? But I'm leaning towards this. My hypothesis is that this exists. Now, as far as these fire goes, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. I do know that the ghoulish jackal thieves of globalism are there to pick through the shards and the detritus and the flotsam and jetsam of our world. That I know. Whether they are directly responsible for this, there is still no evidence. Remember, the absence of evidence doesn't mean the proof of something, but the absence of proof doesn't mean something else. You must be able to listen to me, and you must be able to listen. Bob Lazar. Thank you, Michael. Project Bluebeam. Okay. I've got ones for you. How about this? Did anybody ever read? You probably didn't know this. Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book. Did you read the last cover? Did you read the last cover? It says Project Blue Book version 1. Where is it? Project Blue Book. I want to read this to you. Image. Here we go. Image. Here we go. I think the latest one. No, not the. Let me see the book itself. I think it says product number. Here we go. Product status book report number 8. I think there was like 14. I think it was like up to 14 or whatever it was. There were 12 versions of this. 12, yes, the Cometa report. Remember the Rendlesham Forest. Remember Phoenix Lights. Remember Fife Symington, the governor of Arizona, who said, I saw this thing fly, hover over about a mile. About 300 people or so saw this. They did. Sometimes we got a picture, sometimes we don't. I don't know how much proof it is. I believe that by virtue of just the testimony, the firsthand testimony of this, I believe there's incredible evidence of this, but I don't know if that's proof. This is as good as we can get. Now, how much proof of this we need? 100%. You have to dip that thermometer in. You have to decide for yourself how much of this is real or not. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. Keep an open mind. But understand that you're throwing you're throwing things out is not necessarily the same thing as proof of something. I was a big fan of Stanton Friedman. I liked Stanton Friedman a lot. Here we go. Blast Operation Project Blue Book was number 14. This was 1970, I think it was. Remember that one? I was a big fan of his. Now let me ask you something. If you ask me right now, are there unified? I don't know. I think the evidence is extremely. I think the hypothesis is very, very good. I think it's very, 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 very likely. Absolutely. Is there proof? I don't know. Not the proof that I'd like. How about great pictures? There's pictures we don't really know what they are. Very grainy, never very good. Some are good, maybe. So we see a lot of orbs and things like that. So let me just start. Let me just let you with this right now. Let me just throw this. You're going to have to spend the rest of your life on Earth asking you, what is proof? There's no lab report for this. There's no UFO. We don't look at it, and you have to decide what it is. You have to ask yourself, what is this thing? What is it? And more importantly, listen to me very carefully. I ask you this. Not only do you have to ask what it is, but you have to ask yourself this question, and this is very important. Where does it come from? Is it an extraterrestrial biological? Is it from a place, a planet, a species, a star system that is where we would say kind of is like us, looks like us? What do you think this is? You're going to have to ask yourself. Some people say it's too far. Why do they have to? People will set up. Why do you think they're flying back and forth? Zeta Reticuli, the binary star system, is what? Less than 30 light years away? You don't need, and the faster you fly, the time slows down. The closer you get to the speed of light. I don't know. Your job is not to figure out how people get here. Your job is not to answer questions. Your job is not to answer, but you came up with something. Somebody came up with the idea of a directed energy weapon. This goes back to Judy Wood. This was the first time I ever heard. This was, they've been around. There were lasers and things like that, but it was with World Trade Center, and it became a favorite, DEW. It became a favorite phrase. And it became, and I'm thinking, is this land-based? Is this satellite-mounted? What? And then it blows up? What? I don't know. And people become so, and this is important, and all of this is completely within the realm of possibilities. Absolutely. But when you become, let me give you another one. And I don't want to belabor the point, but I think we can use this always as a learning tool. The same thing happens with the word miracle and prayer. And do you believe in prayer? And does prayer come? Is it prayer? Is it God? We're asking for a prayer. So-and-so has stage 4 cancer. I'm praying. Do you believe that God is going to reverse the stage 4 or stop the stage 4 or kill the cancer? Do you? Yes. You know what? I'm not going to get in the way of that faith. We believe things. We have things we believe in. There are people who believe in us in Australia, in astrology. I, of course, am feces. They believe that where you were born in relation to the sun In fact, all of these people born exactly on the same time you were born here pretty much have the same angle of the sun. Yet, anyway, I don't know, but they believe in that. They believe. And good for them. They're entitled to believe if they want to. We use that word a lot. They believe stuff. They love correlation and cause. We've always done this. We have always been involved in these wonderful things where we're trying to say that this is linked to this. Now, let me jump right now to another story. I don't want to belabor the point, but I find this fascinating. And I use you as my laboratory for this. Donald Trump, is he handling his indictments correctly? Do you advise him to do what he is doing? Do you think it is a good idea for Donald Trump to go out to the rest of the world and tell them what he has, what his evidence is, what his plan is, what his theories are? Do you think this is a good idea for Donald Trump to do this? Would you do this? Would you say, good for you, Donald Trump? Good for you. That's the spirit. Go out and continue to attack and blast and whatever. What do you think? What do you think? Tell me. Do you think Donald Trump is doing a good job? Do you think so? Do you think this is the way to do it? Do you think this? Do you believe this? Believe, use the word believe. Do you believe this is the best way to handle this? Do you believe this? He says he should be silent. I'm not Donald's keeper. What does that mean, weird? What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not going to answer his question. Out of my knowledge. Big Dick Long says it's out of my knowledge. I don't know what that means, but I think it means it may be out of his bailiwick, perhaps. But do you believe, Dick Long, that this is a good idea? Would you say, hey, look, hey, Dick, by the way, you got a case coming up? You got a case, maybe child support, maybe small claims, maybe traffic court. Do you think it's a good idea to go and basically insult the judge before you do this? Dick, is that within your frame of reference? You think that's within your bailiwick, your wheelhouse? Do you think so? James Baker says yes and no. I like that. It's definitive. Now look at this. I'm going to read something to you. This changing the subject. If aliens exist, they may look just like us, and they use the earth like a prison, mental asylum. And we're all offspring of the insane earth, off limits because the inhabitants are insane. Do you really mean that? No. But it sounds good. That's like people who say, maybe people with schizophrenia really understand something. Maybe people with schizophrenia are not really crazy, but in fact, people who are connected to another level of understanding that we are not. And maybe you don't believe that, do you? No, of course not. We say these things. I love when somebody says, well, this is true. What? Well, Dr. Ramona Vargas was on the Patriot Fever show for 24 hours one day on the subject of whether aliens view us. Oh, really? Yes. Well, that answers that. That answers that. You do know that, right? Yes. And you know that eating organ meat is good for you and will not raise your cholesterol. Why? Well, Dr. Demetrius Splitkin was on the Jerry Lefevre health show at least 4 times. And he wrote a book. Oh, there you have it. Seed oils are bad for you too. I'm not an expert in that, but I do know my diet. Now, you know and I know. Stop right there. That Donald Trump is off his rocker, but in a great way. And if he is off his rocker, he should be. He just goes out and he says some stuff. How about, you see Jenna Ellis? Jenna Ellis is one of his lawyers, who's one who was one of his original lawyers. She apparently jumped ship, went over to the DeSantis side, and then he said, you know what, screw you. and his PAC money is paying nothing for her defense. Did you know that one? So tell me, yes or no? Do you like the way? Do you think Trump is basically, or is Trump throwing as much shite against the wall? If you know what, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to make this as messy as possible. I'm going to make this. If they're going to, they're never going to forget this one. I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to make fun of their face and fat. And this one's a fat slob. And this one's ugly. And this one was screwing the gang member. And I'm just going to go nuts. Because I got nothing to lose. You know what? I'm going to tear this thing up. And if a woman accuses me of rape, I'm going to make fun of her. I'm going to call this one horse face. And I'm going to take whatever I guess women's favorability, and I'm going to just toss it out the window because that's who I am. And I don't really care. I don't care what you think. I'm 77 years old. I'm on my 4th indictment. If I play nice or not, so what? Huh? You know it and I know it. Donald Trump is saying, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do whatever I want. Because I'm Donald Trump and you're not. I was elected once and you weren't. And that's it. And I beat that old bat, Hillary Clinton, and that's it. That's all that matters. That's all I'm going to do. And here's another one too. When people say this, you know, I think what's very interesting to say this. I think that people say, well, would you want Donald Trump as your president? Let me tell you something. Do you like what's going on right now? Do you think Donald Trump could actually hurt anything right now? Do you think Donald Trump could do anything right now to hurt anything? Do you think that one more minute of this garbage is worth tolerating? Let me see if I can explain this to you. Listen up. Gather around, kiddies. The man with the goodies is here. I don't care if Emmanuel Lewis, TV's Webster, if that will, I will, anybody. Donald Trump is like a hand grenade, or as some people call it, hand grenade, or bob wire. Different things we pronounce incorrectly. He's like throwing a stink bomb into the room. He'll clear everything up. And we need to completely change everything from top to bottom. Ron DeSantis doesn't have it. Ramaswamy is interesting. He's not going to last. But he's interesting now. He's good. Because oh, that's nice. Smart guy, yeah. Tim Scott? No. Did you read where somebody suggested, who was it? Joe Scarborough said that Donald Trump is afraid of debating Chris Christie. You've got to be kidding me. You know who wants Trump in the debate? Fox. Because Fox says, have you seen any of this? Have you seen, seriously, have you seen Fox News? Oh my God. Please, it looks like PM Magazine without the intellect. It is so bad. It is so horrible. The legal coverage even say we're at the point now where it's like, okay, let's see what happens. I already told you how the case, the racketeering case may not work, but the other particular cases, as far as election interference in Georgia, they may be a bit, as we say, a little more granular. So there may be something to that. Don't dismiss it outright. Don't say, oh, it's complete and total crap. Not necessarily. That's all. So, dear friends, I want to tell you, it is always such a pleasure. Speaking with you is so wonderful. I love your reaction to things. I just love your reaction. And I appreciate being, I appreciate people who perseverate. I have a dear friend of mine. He is one of the most ardent believers or debunkers in the notion of us ever landing on the moon. He is absolutely. Sends me the best videos. People that, if believe me when I tell you this, he just, and it's not just somebody said, yeah, I think that maybe, I mean, a lot of people who are really involved in it and people who worked in it say, no, this doesn't make any sense. And the suits couldn't withstand the, anyway. And yet, for some reason, we just don't want to hear it. We just don't want to hear it. Flat earthers are there just because they're just fun. But the people who believe that we never landed on the moon, you should listen to what they say. It's fascinating. And it's not just somebody with a theory, it's somebody of sorts. I mean, let me tell you something. It's a lot. The case is very, very good. I honestly, seriously, I wish I could tell you I've spent a considerable amount of time on it. I don't know anything about it. I'm fascinated by why people still believe in, not believe in, but follow this thing about Yeti or Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I don't know enough about that either. Cryptozoology, I don't know, but there are people who absolutely are fascinated by it. And maybe, I don't know. I don't think they're crazy or insane. I'm just fascinated by what makes some people say, yep, not only do I believe in this, but I'm fixated by it. I am focused. Sometimes it's part of who we are because we love to see the look of shock on people's faces when we tell them that. That's all I'm saying. So I'm interested, I'm fascinated by what people believe in. And as you know me more, I will tell you, I will use the word believe virtually never. Believe? No. Suspect highly? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Leaning towards? Yeah, absolutely. 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 Wouldn't be surprised if you know it. But that word believe to me is so special. Proof means something. Not a good story, not a good hypothesis, not a good, like, oh, that's interesting. Well, you know what? She's got a good point there. No. And sometimes you can say, well, the reason why the evidence is not there is because either it's not available or it's being hid. And that could very well be. But I'm very, 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 you've heard that Stanley Kubrick staged the moon landing. People say, I know he did. How do you know that? Well, because there's no proof of that. But it's a fascinating story. And there's something to be said. But is there proof he did it? Absolutely not. None. None that we've heard. None. None. I don't. And then you get into things like, for example, Sirhan. Was he responsible? Well, was he the only one? No. Mark David Chapman. Those are the two cases to look at if you really want to follow MK Ultra. Can I prove it? Absolutely not. Cannot prove it. I suspect it quite a bit. One day, one of the greatest things that will blow your mind is when we get to the bottom of what really happens with 5G machines. That is going to be the one that just, wow. And that was there the whole time, but nobody's interested. Same thing with geoengineering. Nobody cares. They just don't care. So because there's no, there's no desire for that. And I'm going to leave you with this, good friends. What is going to end the world as we know it is artificial intelligence, AGI. That is going to be the end of our existence. That I believe. Because it is, put it this way. What if I told you that I created a bomb, a nuclear bomb, that can make itself more powerful and can detonate itself and make infinite copies of it and detonate it anytime at once, and I have no say? Would that scare you? Yes, it would. That's artificial intelligence. Hey, give yourself a big hand. Please hit the YouTube notification bell. Please like this video and subscribe. Please, for the love of God. That's right, subscribe. subscribe to Lionel Nation right here. So important. And throw our dear friends, give them a call. Call now at 800-645-4965. Listen how fast Lindell answers the phone. It's amazing. You will say, thank you for turning me on to our great friends at My Pillow. And I'm going to say, you are welcome. You are welcome. Don't forget to follow me here on that X thing. I call it Twitter. And by the way, Mrs. L as well, at Lynn's Warriors. And on YouTube, at Lynn's Warriors. Let me tell you something. Every day when I finish up my day and start my day talking to you, it's one of the pleasures of my life. And I mean that. And I thank you. I thank you. Sure, you're demented. Sure, you're out of your tree. Sure, you are absolutely certifiably non-compos mentis. Lunatics, all of you. Complete and totally devoid of any contextual tethering to reality. But I love you. I honestly love you, and I thank you. I thank you for everything you've done. All right. You have a great and a glorious day. We'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Have a wonderful, safe, be very, very safe. Remember, please take care of yourself. Watch your health. Have at least two, don't forget, tablespoons of ground flax every day. Please do that. Just that one thing. That's it. One thing. Did I get off the line? No, I didn't. Good. Because I just hit my thing there. All right, dear friends. That's all. Until tomorrow, remember these final words. This sayonara, this adios, this valedictory. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Tete.